Hey everyone, happy Sunday to you. I hope all is well. You didn't have an assignment due this week, but my hope is you got caught up on your reading because you have 2 chapters due this week, along with your last quiz, quiz 4. Typically we do 1 chapter a week, but this week's got 2. But I've been telling you about that for a week or two, so hopefully you were on top of that. But last week, relapse prevention went hand in hand with what we were talking about in 1300. So I hope that was helpful. And I'm not going to go over all that. We went over all of that in the last video. Special populations and diverse cultures. This is so important to be multicultural competent in some way, right? Because you never know who's going to call or who's going to walk through the door. I had an old professor that would say, God makes the mix, I just get to work with it. And I find that to be really true. I don't know who's coming through the door. I don't know who's on the other end of that phone call or what their beliefs may be or not be. I'm here to help. Now, it's also being competent enough to say, maybe I'm not a good fit. Let me find you someone that is. And this is where my hope is you'll do an extra credit assignment, whether you turn it in or not, and create your own database. Right, for referrals. I recently came across someone who needed to speak Farsi. You never know, right, what's going to happen. He was an SAP client. So anyways, all that said, you never know. Now I have this resource because you always want to help. You don't have to be expected to know everything about every culture or every population. But you do need to be able to ask and be able to have resources as well. So that said, this is your last quiz over chapters 10, 11, and 12. This is it for quizzes. No more in this course. And then next week, you have a DB on chapter 13 on prevention. Note next week is only 2 days long or 3 days long because then you have Easter break. So be aware of that. I know it gets a little wonky this time of year with the extra little break. So you have 2 chapters this week and then only a couple days to do 1 chapter next week. But we're almost done, guys. Literally, you have 2 papers after this and that's done, right? This class is done. So after Easter break, you get a whole week to work on your theories paper, which is, again, 25% of your grade. It'll either be on motivational interviewing or cognitive behavioral therapy. And I'll talk more about those next week. And then your last paper is a reflection assignment, which is super simple. You don't even have to have resources for it. I'll talk more about that as we get there, but it's just a reflection on all the material you've learned and how you think it's been helpful or what you think it'll help your clients. So literally your last quiz this week, next week your last DB in this class, then 2 small papers and you're out of here. So keep grinding hard. I'm going to keep this one short as usual. As always, if you have any questions or concerns or want to just chop it up about the field of work or study or anything, please don't hesitate to reach out and we'll talk soon. Have a great week.